Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Bashem, Harakakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Mill, Son of All, and Shalom to all the brothers doing the work, in truth. I saw this on the Sun. It was interesting because it's now become expected that with the Ukraine conflict, it's going to hit the point where nukes are gonna fly, and obviously we know prophecy, so it's gonna require, Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation, the MOTB, the micro C hip, to be instated before that takes place. But if you go back even to when Obizi was in office, even 2011, 2012. And after, there was like the START agreement, which was meant to stop the decommission nuclear missiles. So people were thinking in their minds like, oh, nuclear weapons being used, that's afar off. But it's something that's rolled back into into people's minds, into the forefront of things as the conflict's gone on. Because more like the invasion of Ukraine has shown that Putin will play his hand, and that's the spirit that's been put on him. He's had that spirit put on him. The hooks in the jaw to turn back and go into that warlike spirit. We can watch it. It's on the Sun.
Imagine.
What? Hold on.
Imagine for a moment that the unimaginable happens. A nuclear weapon explodes over London. In this documentary, we explore the devastation.
Yeah, it's over London as well, which is where was threatened, by Putin. He's saying like, yo, Russian, London's in range, which is why it's like, for people, it's kind of been over here anyway. It's been in mind. The US is still kind of out there. Babylon the Great is out there. Like, people ain't really thinking they're going to be touched. But that's where it's going to go. But London's a good example because, it's the mother of the beast. And it's one of those hotspots that people kind of have as, in the eyes of the world, it's like a sacred kind of spot. People look at like, oh yeah, there's an appeal to it, there's a charm, there's a glamour to it. But then the thought of being destroyed, people start bugging out.
Devastating consequences of this catastrophe. In the simulation, we will use a warhead with a yield of 750 kilotons. That's a pretty powerful charge. Some US and Russian ballistic missiles are capable of carrying up to 10 charges in a single missile.
So yes, it's even only showing one. Like I said, you can have up to 10. So that's the thing is with people because you had Oppenheimer, the movie, where it's showing the scale of just the atom bomb. Now you got the hydrogen bombs, the levels of destruction, magnitudes higher, and then with those levels of it's peak. And obviously it's London. If London got hit by it's toast, man. It's a wrap. That shit's over, man. It's a wash.
Upon detonation, a fireball as hot as the sun rapidly expands, reaching a radius of 950 meters. Anything trapped inside this fireball is instantly vaporized. In our simulation, the epicenter of the explosion is at Westminster. People within that radius won't even feel anything because the nerve impulse transmission speed is slow.
Yes, that's if this is obviously just to put in people's minds, to get them on edge and terrified, which it will do. Because the thing with most people in the world is they don't think, one, they're thinking They don't even walk through life thinking, um, you know, Lord, will I make it to the evening, and then Lord, will I make it to the morning. They don't have that mindset. They have the mindset of the pride of life, where they're just thinking, whatever they might have a holiday planned for. It might be October. They've got a holiday planned for January, for April, for June, and for August the next year. They might be, they'll plan out, they'll drop like $8,000 on all them holidays where they're thinking, I'm going to be able to enjoy this and do this. Okay, they've got concerts coming up. Okay, we've got 4 concerts to look at. People are thinking about their wants and desires. They're not considering, what happens if a war happens. And that's just one aspect of it. Because like I said, before you even get to World War III, you're going to have the Hour of Temptation. You're going to have Jacob's Trouble. You're going to have the MOTB. And these things are terrors, levels of destruction that people haven't thought about, which is why, just like with C-19 with the pandemic, people folded. You can have people fold supremely to what's it called? To those pressures. But these are it's showing that the time we're in. And again, it's really a warning to the people in the world. It's a sign to kind of look at and be like, damn, what's going down here? Like how why is it coming? Why has it come to this? What's the original parent? But has it come to this? Yeah, has it come to this? That's what you should be thinking. Has it come to this? Because real talk, you should be wondering how it came to this. But then it's something you can kind of observe. Because if anyone paying attention to, geopolitical situations, or think, because even with, you got the situation with Lebanon, where you had the pagers fucking getting zapped, all getting blown the fuck up. You had the footage of the guy getting fucking, the pagers like blown up in the middle of the supermarket. Then you had the walkie-talkies, and then now you got missile strikes. So, fucking, I bit my tongue. And that lines up with, what's that movie? Leave the World Behind, where there's like technologies used to strike at things from multiple angles. So you have, internet taken down, TV taken down, people disconnected from the network, and then afterwards, all different forms of technology people rely on start malfunctioning. And then, with that danger, with the lack of understanding of the state the world's in, it descends into chaos, because it would just be like, damn, wait, people can just be doing it. So it's like, if there's no phone line, that's the thing, is like, what start, you have situations where, a geezer will be, he might be uppercutting his wife. Like, the thing that stops him uppercutting his wife is when the cops barge through the door, put him in a headlock and throw him in jail. And that, to get the cops there requires a form of communication. And there's a lot of situations that are like that, where without some form of, connection to, ESO's system of things, you're not going to be able to what do you call it, to then bring in any form of of order to that situation. You're fucked. You're fucked. And then people are going to realize that. And that's really, the reality of it. Isaiah 9:5, it says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused knives and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." So yeah, you have, the prior wars, the prior conflicts. And then you can even go back to World War I, World War II, where you had like artilleries, machine guns, planes, bombers, and then even the atom bombs dropped. But even then, it still resembled the conflicts where it would be in ancient world, where you would have trebuchets, catapults, swords, spears, chariots, formations and whatnot. Those things existed, but then this is, it's going to be on a different scale, because it's just going to be that nuclear arsenal being executed on, and then it would just be like like you see in the footage, because that's something. It's like the 1 kilometer radius. Then what was
Slower.
it's like 100,000
Within
people
5
per
kilometers of the epicenter, the blast radius.
They said like the total, 850,000 dead just from one missile in like the center of London. And that's the thing is these are things that aren't considered. But looking at the state that the world's in now, it shouldn't be a mystery that it can escalate to that level. But it still is. It still is. Isaiah, First Thessalonians, like 5:1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. And and that's like I said, before you get to the prophecy of World War III nuclear destruction, you're gonna have terrors, further levels of destruction before, where you're gonna have the time of Jacob's trouble. You're gonna have the MOTB being stated. You're gonna have the hour of temptation. You're basically gonna have things set up to where pressure is gonna be applied through force, where it's it might be psychological, physical, both monetary. There's hunger, starvation. There's all kinds of terrors that, just as with prior kingdoms, these things have visited them. The Lord's basically unleashed it to be like, okay, let loose. And now we're gonna come into something where that's gonna happen again, but it's something far away. People aren't thinking about it. They're not meditating on it. They're not seeing it as a reality. It's something that is I mean, it exists in movies and TV shows. They'll think about us. Oh, like what? Like or even like the Matrix is an example. What's one? Like Children of Men. Because Children of Men is something that, especially with how the dynamic, the racial dynamics in the UK have become an issue. Children of Men is something that anyone who's seen it can kind of look to and be like, okay, that's interesting. But then they're not really putting it to to the fullness of their understanding. They're just kind of looking like, oh well, that's interesting. It's like people say like, oh, the Simpsons predict the future, those kinds of things. But where does it end up? When it shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of night, nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep, as do others, but let us watch and be sober. And that's a big discrepancy between your average Joe in the world, your average geezer, and the prophets. But we've been set as watchmen, which is why we'll see. Okay, what these Russia putting that out. We'll see, like I said, like the Lebanon situation is kind of the hot one now in the Middle East. Because that's like a level of warfare people haven't really seen. And the thing with that as well is like when you go to the war that kind of has been put more in people's minds. Well, I say war. The conflict against for the Western world has been more China in their minds, because they're looking at like, oh, China's looking to come for the throne next. So they might be thinking, okay, well, if we're conflict with China, they produce all the fucking things that people use and buy over here. So as such, then they'll think like, damn, that's fucked. That's peak. That could happen to us. You could be walking around and then your smartphone just fucking blows your leg off, which is nuts. Because you had, I saw like people making memes, obviously, when it happened, of like when Samsung was having the phones blown up. You had a few of it happen on like a plane. but where it was like the batteries are fucked up. So you had like a recall of like there was one generation of phones where they were having like them blow the fuck up, and then like people were just on edge about obviously. But then yeah, it's like when that's weaponized, that's a whole different kettle of fish, and that's what's been done. It's shown it's like damn that you had the walkie talkies, you had the pages. People next thing people think is like every motherfucker on the planet has a smartphone. You like little 4-year-olds are walking around with mummy's smartphone watching Coco Melon and shit. So with that, then they figure like, damn, that's a terror. That's hell on earth. But it's only as it's come to a reality now. But these are things that level of destruction. The thing is, there's things like that have been put in movies, but people don't really think about like them as like it can realistically happen. But what can you do? Now it's coming into that time. It's something that you basically hold as a forewarning and give it's got to live as a reality in your brain for you to take action on it, which very few people will do. So I'll start with Joel 2. Joel 2 and 2. A day of okay, so from Joel 2 and 1. It says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord Jehovah cometh, for his night hand. And yeah, I would say blow the trumpet. And we had the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. And it's what part of it is it's a call to action to forewarn. And that's a big part of the job of the prophets, to forewarn. And that's been done from, us now, but then going up to, the apostles, going up to, the high priests, Abba Bivens, to those that came before as well, and laid the groundwork to be doing that. Like now we're following in their stead and blowing the trumpet. It says a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and a thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. There have not been ever the like, neither shall there be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as a garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. That's talking about those missiles, man. Those missiles are, the fire. But behind the propulsion, because it's ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, where that's the means of delivery for the payload, which would be the missiles, and that's why you had in this you had the missile, and then he said it as well. He said you can have up to 10. Some of these have up to 10, but then they're just going to show one, and then with one, you're getting a 5-kilometer blast. But then that's just one missile could be carrying 10, so you can do 10 times that level of destruction, and then even more so with multiple missiles. And that's how you get those post-apocalyptic situations where somewhere's been wiped off the face of the earth, like it doesn't even exist. It's fucking wild still to kind of meditate on. But that's what, America's going to be the key spot. It's going to be transformed into a desert. And then you have it's funny because Yellowstone's kind of example of that, where it was, a lush green, landscape. But then through fucking with the cycle of nature, the cycle of nature and whatnot, hunting the Yellowstone wolves, I believe, just actually fucked the entire ecosystem up to where now it's desolate, and that's what's gonna happen to the rest of it. Places where you have now lush green vistas where you're like, damn, there's all that water. It's gonna be deserts where doleful creatures is gonna be skanking out. And like it says, it's as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a wilderness. So yeah. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pained, all faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. So yeah, you have now with good examples with the state of Israel, the Iron Dome technology that's meant to be the shield against these missiles. But then how does it actually play out in reality? When it comes to to the nukes, as it says, it will climb the wall. It won't break ranks. It says, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path, and they shall fall upon the sword. They shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. So yeah, they're going to get in, and they're going to accomplish what their job is to do, which is putting a smash on Esau's system, Esau's kingdom, man. And that's something that is again like an alien thought, supernatural happening. But in truth, the missiles are there. Yeah, the missiles are there. It's crazy. Probably combined. Yeah. See if there's what's it saying?
Sickness, and over 1 million will be traumatized. Many of these injuries could prove fatal over the next days and weeks. Radiation sickness in particular.
Yeah, it's wild. Man, I'm fully sending a warning with that. But yeah. Fuck. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.